Pelvic floor day 12. We're going to be on the rebounder, and I'm going to start out kneeling on the rebounder, and I have my hands on the rim, and I'm going to be doing circles in one direction. So I'm going from kneeling to coming back to each side. So I'm going side, back, side, and then back up for the kneeling position. So I'm going in one direction. Now I'm going to be going in the other direction, It's slow and controlled as we're engaging our glutes, our pelvic floor muscles, and our core all at the same time. You should be engaging these muscles throughout this 34-minute workout. Some cat cows, I call them. So we're going to come up in a cat stretch and then come back down. That always feels good on the back after we do some of the circles and some of the other things that seem to strengthen our back, but sometimes it can tighten our back a little bit. So I always put these moves in when I can feel it tightening my lower back a little bit. I want to make sure I keep my lower back stretched out. I'm going to be kneeling closer to the rim. I'm going to bring my front foot off. I'm going to sit back, and then I'm going to come and put my knee behind my back leg and then sit back. So it's you sit back here with the foot on the floor, bring it up behind your other knee, and then you're going to sit back again. So every time you squat, you should be engaging your pelvic floor muscles. And then you really are here when you cross one leg behind the other. That's when you really tighten that pelvic floor. Now we're going to switch to the other side. I stay close to the rim because I'm bringing my foot off, and I'm going to be doing, remember when you do the sit back on here, you really tighten it. There, and then you sit back. Put your knee behind your back leg knee and you sit back into it. Okay, I'm adjusting myself. I'm going to come up into a down dog in this position and then come back down. Each time I come up, I am really tightening up my pelvic floor and my abdominal muscles. My glutes too, but more my abdominal muscles and my pelvic floor muscles. Down dog is a really good move for your pelvic floor. So you should practice these moves, and I like to do different variations like I am right here. Now I'm coming up and I am tucking, but I'm pushing back too. I'm holding my abdominals and my pelvic floor in, and I'm just pushing it back and tightening. Now I'm bringing the back leg behind the front leg on my knees. I'm going to come up and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Another down dog move. I'm coming in down dog. I'm going to bring my front leg back. And I'm coming and I'm tucking in. You can see how my legs coming back down and in. And then I'm putting it back up. I'm doing a tuck in a down dog position with my front leg up. Okay, on the other side, down dog with the back leg up, and then we're doing the tucks. Okay, I have my hands on the rim. Now I'm going to have my knees as far apart as I can. I'm going to do quite a few moves with my knees apart. So this is the beginning of it. And actually, see, now I'm kneeling. Now I am going to be doing a tuck. I'm going to come back a little bit. And I see I'm tucking right now. You can see by the look on my face. I'm going to come and I'm holding it as tight as I can. Now I'm relaxing. Now I'm tucking again. It's a very subtle tuck. You can tell I'm tightening in on my muscles. You can see by how my shirt kind of goes in and my abdominals, and I'm tightening. I'm tightening my pelvic floor. I'm tightening my glutes. And I'm tightening my abdominal muscles. And it works your inner thighs in a different way when you have your knees apart. It's like I'm just pushing, and like I've given the analogy before of childbearing. You're pushing and holding. Now I'm pulsing it, but I'm holding tight and I'm bearing down. That's the word when I do this. Now I'm tightening, and I'm doing very subtle moves side to side with my hips, but I'm tightening it each time I go side to side. I'm still bearing down, and I'm still tightening all the muscles that we talk about: pelvic floor, abdominals, and your glutes. With your knees apart. And it's a subtle move, but you're really working your pelvic floor. I hear more and more women, I'm holding on one side and I'm going to just stretch down. And I'm pushing out on the back side over there, on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to sit back a little bit and then have a more exaggerated pelvic thrust. I call it a thrust because you're thrusting forward. But I was going to say I'm hearing more and more women having to have surgery because of a prolapsed uterus that goes and sits right on the bladder, and your bladder can prolapse. That's why it's good to do these exercises to try to prevent that. We always would want to prevent that. So you see, I come back and then I come forward. I do it slow and controlled. And so I'm grabbing onto something. I'm tightening up my muscles and engaging them. now I'm staying back. And I'm kind of bouncing a tad on the mat, using that to my advantage, and just bringing my arms behind me. So now I am going to be doing circles in one direction as I'm kneeling with my knees apart, and then I'm going to be circling in one direction. And remember that you are going in the full circle, back, side, front, side, and you come forward. And the whole time you do it, you are engaging all your muscles and tightening them up. You're working different muscles by having the knees apart. And now I pause, I'll be going the other way. And I do have my feet together, but I have my knees apart. Okay, knees together, kneeling, and it looks like I'm praying, but I'm just doing a very subtle tuck forward with my knees together. It's a little bit different. I thought it was a little bit more challenging, even on the rebound, because I'm on the rebounder, and the instability, even when I'm just kneeling. It's not exactly like standing with that instability, but I'm coming back and I'm just thrusting forward. Now I'm just moving my hips side to side, side to side. Hands on the rim, we're on our knees. I have my hands more to the outside. As you can see, I'm going to sit all the way back, try to tap my hips down, and then I'm going to come up, down dog with my back leg up. So, when you come back down, you tighten everything right here. You're tightening as you come up, and you stay engaged as you bring the leg up. Okay, now we're going to do it on the other side. I'm going to be sitting back over, come up, and then do down dog as I lift my front leg. Okay, so for the last 11 minutes or so, we're going to be on our back. And now, see, I'm laying on my back, and I have my feet together, and I have my legs apart. It's kind of like a frog, and I'm just going to do just a couple crunches to warm up. And then I'm going to bring my hands up and pulse with my hands out toward my legs like I am now. So this is a different position that you can use while doing your pelvic tucks and that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm going to bring my back leg up and over and kick it out and then bring it back over. So I still have them both out to the side. And when I come back, I'm still engaging my muscles and I'm tightening, and I like to push my feet together too. And that's really going to work your inner thighs and your pelvic floor. Okay, now I'm going to come up and do some tucks in this position. Now I'm holding that one and then come down. I'm going to come up. I still have my knees apart, not as far apart as I did. It's harder to do that way, but I still have them apart as I'm doing the tucking. Now I'm coming up and I have my knees apart, and now I'm going to pulse up and down, and I'm using the rebounder. So I can move it you can move it, so I'm moving it while I'm doing it. Okay, now I'm doing the other side. So I bring my leg over, I come back, I bring my feet together, and I have my knees apart. Keep the muscles engaged. Now I have my feet together, my knees out to the side, and I'm pulsing them out to the side. You can see I'm bouncing on the rebounder at the same time. I'm engaging, and I'm just bringing my legs out, and I'm tightening up my pelvic floor. Okay, now I'm going to start, and I'm going to be bringing my knees together and pull, and then apart. But as I do it, I'm doing it with a force. Not like a force, but I'm pushing and I'm tightening. I'm pushing and I'm tightening my knees together. And I'm really tightening up my pelvic floor when I do that. Okay, I'm bringing my legs up and I'm stretching them up and I'm getting adjusted onto the mat. And I'm going to be doing some scissoring. So I'm going to start by just doing some little scissoring like that. And then in a few seconds, I'm going to start bringing my legs down. And then I'm going to bring them back up. So when I have them down, I'm going to bring them up. The key for all of this is to make sure when you're bringing your scissoring down that your lower back stays on the mat, but you're going to be engaging your abdominal muscles and your pelvic floor muscles. Your glutes too. It'll be a little bit harder to keep them engaged while you're doing this particular move. And the important thing right now is your pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. Woo! Okay, legs together. Now I'm going to bring them out in a frog-like move from together and then force my knees apart when I come down. And I bring my knees towards my chest. So you come down, when you come up, you really tighten the pelvic floor. You keep it tight, but you really tighten it as hard as you can when you're bringing your knees back in together. 3 minutes left, so we're going to do some tucks. I'm moving down. I'm just going to be holding in some tucks. I'm doing slight pulsing tucks. Just pulsing it up. Keep everything engaged, your pelvic floor, your glutes, and your abdominal muscles. Okay, we're going side to side with that now a little bit. Side to side, side to side. Now I'm just bringing them up and holding. Just engaging as tightly as I can, and then come down, and then I will repeat that by coming up again and tightening. Okay, we have a minute and a half left. I'm bringing my hands above. I'm holding on to the rim. And what I'm doing is I'm holding as tight as I can. And I'm holding my upper body down and my torso. And I'm tightening. And at the same time, I'm going to be bringing my legs up. It doesn't look very hard, but it was very challenging for me. I have my hands and I'm tightening my arms and my torso very tight as I'm lifting up my knees and my legs. Since I found it very challenging, you have to make sure you're really holding onto the rim as tightly as you can. And you're just gripping it and engaging. And now I'm just going side to side with my knees up towards my chest.